All right, everybody, we are going live again. So it is the new year, and I want to start by going live a lot more. I went live for most of Advent, and that was nice. I'm definitely not going to go live like 365 days. That would just be too much. But I will be going live a lot more and specifically discussing the different projects and stuff that can help you guys more. And so today we are going to be talking about the word of the year. So this is done by many different people. A lot of business owners will do this to set their intention for the year. And a lot of people will ask, how do you find direction while moving forward into the new year? A lot of people will do this in November or December, but it's January. So let's start now. So figuring out what your word is or words. So I do one for business and one for my personal life because those, in my opinion, should be separate. Yay, healthy boundaries. No, I do not always have healthy boundaries, but yay to healthy boundaries. And so it's about finding the word that works for you. When you start doing this, it can be really hard. It's like, well, I have no clue what I want for the next year to be your word. So you can start actually with looking at your goals and what do you want your goals to be, and then what word encompasses all those goals. And the other way to do it is to go with, as weird as it sounds, the letting me know that I should go live. Thank you, alarm. That you the cliches or the classic choices. So I know a lot of people will choose growth or progress for like their first word for their first year. I've been doing this since 2024. Oh, it is 20 it's 2024 this year. I have been doing this since 2020 and I love it. It's just a nice reminder of what you actually want to accomplish throughout the year. And then you're able to ask the question as you're manifesting, does this fit the word? And every time you do an action or make a decision, ask if it fits the word. And then it'll make it easier for you to make decisions and attract the reality that you want. So last year, what I did last year, I started doing is I made a card on Canva and then I laminated it because yes, I am dorky enough to have a laminator at my house. Technically, I have two. So my business word was consistency, and I wanted to post every day, and I almost did it. I biffed it towards the end of the year, but I started going live more. And then my personal word was fulfillment. I spent almost 7 years building my business to where it is now, which I love. I love my business. I'm good at what I do. I like being a psychic spiritual advisor. I love my clients. I love being on TV shows and radio shows and being featured in magazines. It's awesome to help people on a global scale and have an international business. But to do that, I had to work a lot and I got rid of my personal life. So in 2023, my personal word was fulfillment. To have more fulfillment in my personal life was a really big deal for me. And I did it and I'm very happy. I have much more fulfillment on a personal level because I was able to say, okay, this is the word. What do I need to do? Also, with my business word from last year, consistency. Literally, I was posting at like 11:45 p.m. to get the consistency in. And it helped me to remember that that's what I needed to do. So it made it a lot easier for me having these words to begin with. So for me, again, and it's making it fun. However you see it as fun, you can put it on your fridge. You can have it be the background on your phone. Like I said, I liked making it on Canva and then laminating it. That made me happy. But so I actually just printed my words for this next year. And personal, we have thrive. Yay! That makes me happy. And then my professional word is to prioritize. I love working. I love my clients. I love what I do. The problem with that is that I want to do it all. I want to do it all now. And prioritizing what's actually important for my business is going to help me not waste a bunch of money and time on things that actually don't help people. Because I want to help the most people as possible. My goal is to help 10,000 people a year. I am not to that goal right now, but every year I get closer and closer. The record is 2,000 people, so just got to beat that, in this next year. No pressure, no pressure. So I'll laminate those, and what I do is I stick them on the back of my laptop because my laptop is with me every day. I touch it. I don't think there's ever a day where I don't touch my laptop, because that's just, one, it's part of my business and I run my business every day. Two, I'm a millennial. Social media and like connection, that is through that. And so like my phone and my laptop, my electronics are usually with me whenever I go anywhere. Not anywhere, like not to the grocery store. I'm not that creepy, but have my laptop. So those are usually on the back of my laptop. So for what people are doing with finding this word, finding it for your professional and personal life, and I suggest starting with those instead of going, well, I want this word for my physical health, I want this word for my business, I want this word for my mental health. That's a lot. That's a lot to do in a year, and that's a lot of juggling. Instead, you just have an overall theme. Think of it like a theme. So you're having an overall theme to your year. And that is, I'm trying to get my foot up on the chair. So graceful at all times. Not really at all. But so you want to have a theme for your year. And like I said, progress, growth. For people with business, sometimes they'll choose success. Spiritual things can be grow intuition and abundance, prosperity. Healing is a big one for people also. So again, these are just examples. What I usually do is I make a list, and at this point it is a list on a Google Doc, because that's how long I've been doing this. So make a list for whatever category, personal, professional, whatever. And you make a list of all the words it could be, and then just narrow it down. Keep narrowing it down. And then the next year, I'll usually look back at that list and go, yeah, I want to add those to that list too. And some of them don't make the cut. Some of them do. 1 year, content was on the list for my personal life. That was a good thing to have, because the year before I had a lot of physical health problems. My chronic illnesses took a spike up and a nosedive into Crapsville. And so I wanted like contentment. I had already healed. I needed to be able to like be content with where my health was at. And so that was my word 1 year for my personal life. And so you figure out your year, and then you just whittle it down. And it can be anything, preferably something positive that you want to attract into your life, and not something along the lines of like eat shit and die. But the other thing that you have to remember with going through this is it realistic? This is such a shitty thing to say with this question, with this activity, your word of the year, but is it realistic? I know so many people who put healing on their list, and then they're so bummed that by the end of the year, they weren't magically healed of all their trauma from childhood, that they didn't magically be able to overcome. So don't pick words that are going to have you feel like shit. These are meant to be realistic themes. These are not your goals. These are not your resolutions. These are not your wishes. These are not your manifestations. It's not anything like that. This is a theme you want in your life right now. That's what you're aiming for. That's what you're going for. That's the bar that you need to shoot for. And so if you choose healing and on New Year's Eve, you're like, I didn't heal enough, fuck this, then that's not for you. But also with picking something realistic, it has to be something that you're willing to do the work for. And that is not the case with some people. No shame. We all go at it at our own pace. But if you pick a word and then you're just like, I'm not going to do the work. I expect it just to unicorns to shit rainbows on my lap. That's not going to be the way this works. You have to be willing to put the work in to get the theme to be what you want. I greatly did not want to post on social media every single goddamn day of last year, but I did for the most part. Again, it petered off towards the end, but in my defense, my grandma died, and so social media kind of took a backseat to like all that. So with that, it's also remembering that as you choose these things and you're committing to them, if something comes up, give yourself grace, give yourself patience, give yourself peace. This is not meant to be the thing that makes or breaks you. It's meant to just help, give you a nudge, give you a little bit more guidance than you had before so that you can have clarity with the decisions that you make to manifest the life that you want. That is the point of creating this word. So whatever you want the word to be, rock it out, do it up, have fun with it. It is meant to be inspirational. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to give you direction. It is not meant to be daunting. Yay for the alarm. It is not meant to be daunting or negative or something that puts pressure or makes you feel shame or guilt. None of those things are what your word of the year is. All of them are meant to be happy. Even if it's not like happy, you should at least not feel crappy about your word. And this is your word. It is not what other people think you need to do, because we all have those friends who are like, this is what I think you need to do. And personal comment, if I followed what people around me said, I would not have an international business. If I followed what people who had my best intentions at heart and are genuinely good people, if I did what they said, I would not be where I am today. I would not be as healthy as I am. I would not be as happy as I am. I would not be as awesome as I am if I followed what other people say. So this word, it's all about you. If someone's like, this is what you really need, it's their opinion. Growing up, my grandma used to have a saying, and I love this because I use it in my life so much, especially when dealing with other people. She used to sit me down really gently whenever questions were asked, and she would ask a question. She said, I want to be clear. You get an opinion, you do not get a vote. You are a child, you do not get a vote. And it would be like where to go to eat or something like that. Like we decide as a family, but I was a kid. And I use that so often in my life. So as you're picking your word, others can have an opinion. If you want others to be a part of this experience, great. If you want to do this alone, I usually do it alone and then tell people my word later like this, because that's easier for me to do it that way. And I get to really sit with myself for it. Being aware of what you need for an entire year and what your theme is going to be is a lot of big picture thinking. So take a step back, take a deep breath, regulate your emotions, get grounded, do those exercises, and then look and see and let it come naturally. Some people, the word just will come to them. Perfect intuition, rock it out. Other people need to make a list. Other people need to walk a labyrinth, pray, meditate, anything like that. Whatever you got to do to figure out what your word is, do it. No shame. No shame. We all have different processes. My process may work for you. It may not. All of that is fine. As long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else, it's a fairly chill experience. So that is your words. Again, my personal is Thrive. I'm going to laminate these the second I'm off this thing. I'm going to heat up that laminator. I am the biggest dork. And prioritize for my business word. And go forth, find your word. If you feel comfortable, comment your word or stitch and just share your word with people, or keep it to yourself and let it be a totally singular experience. Either way, go forth, be the hero of your own story. If you are having trouble picking your word, link in the bio, schedule a session. Bye, everybody.